This is the Unhip Almond 360, ready for action. All right, this is my second part of my video series in regards to what is MGTOW, or more specifically, what I think MGTOW is, and I think as a general consensus, I think most MGTOW would agree that this is a part of what it is to mean to be MGTOW. Now, my first part of this video series involved freedom, being able to be free with oneself, not being indebted or beholden to women, and not just women, but like the government or to your boss or to a bank or to whoever or to other men. It's being totally free with yourself and being able to decide for your own how you're going to live your life and what direction you are going to go with your life. And so that's what my first video series is. Now, my second one, and I think this is a pretty interesting one, and I think most men will agree. To be MGTOW, I think you have to have a lot of self-respect for yourself. Being able to live with yourself through the actions you've done and to not like reduce who you are just so you can get something or have something, especially when it comes to women. A lot of men, and I was guilty of this growing up too. I always thought women were the prize, women were the end all and be all on being a complete man. And I learned through the hard way, through many, many lessons, and it took a while for it to sink in that everything I was taught to me about what it means to be a man was wrong, was false. And when I look back, I probably didn't have much direction on how to be a real man. And not only that, but the person that raised me, my stepfather, I don't think he did a really good job of raising me to be a real man. I think he raised me in the old ways of what it was to be a man. And as we all know, the old ways of being a man is no longer there. Ever since women got the right to vote, we don't have authority over women. We don't have much power over women. So when we date, when we're married to women, when we have a relationship with women, they have most of the power now. They can argue all they want that we all have equal power or there's a patriarchy that gives men more power. But when you look at the divorce courts, when you look at what's going on in life and how women are treated way better, the laws, I mean, come on, they got pro-abortion laws that support women. They got laws. They're trying to create laws where we're supposed to believe the woman over the man. We're supposed to believe the woman and believe that women can't do no wrong, yet they do a lot of things wrong. And when they go to court, as we know, they have a higher chance of being proven not guilty. And even if they get proven guilty of a crime, their punishment is like about 70% of what a man would get for the same crime, if not less, more or less, or even a more lenient sentence compared to men. So in this regard, when we think about equality now, this age of equality, women have the same rights as men. And I've discussed before, marriage is just something that should have been abolished a long time ago. If men don't have the power and the authority over women anymore and over their own women, we have to look out for ourselves. And that involves having self-respect for ourselves. And that means we have to do what feels good with us. We shouldn't, a man should not go, oh, I'm doing this because I need to get laid, or I'm doing this to save the relationship, or I'm doing this to show I'm a real man, and that's why I'm bending over backwards, working my ass off over 40 hours a week, spending all my money on women or on the family or on the wife or the girlfriend or whatever else is out there, or paying off your debts or just whatever it is that's causing you to basically simp for either women or even simp for the banks or simp for your employer, men have to learn we can't get involved in that entanglement anymore. And that's what men go in their way are, I think, is that we want to stay free and well, want to stay free, but we want to have self-respect. We don't want to degrade ourselves to the point where we're being simps, we're being wimps, we're being slaves, whatever it is that the degradation is bringing us down to. Men going their own way don't want to be degraded that way. We don't want to be degraded. We want self-respect, and we're not going to become women's, pocketbooks. We're not going to become their women's sperm donors. We're not going to become a group of men that is going to try to be beholden to women, and we're not going to, whether we do it. I mean, we can actively avoid women. We can actively do all these things, or actively do all these things to stay away from the pitfalls of being in a relationship or a marriage or whatever. But they still keep attacking back at us. They still keep on trying to suck us in to relationships, whether through shame, whether through laws, whatever it may be. A man needs to be extremely aware of his surroundings and what's going on in his environment and what's going on in society. And I think the first thing a man's got to do is got to ask himself, is this going to degrade myself? Is this going to lose a lot of my self-respect? Because you need self-respect before you can get respect from others. And the thing is, as a man, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, the decisions I made, are these decisions that are just like losing my self-respect for myself? Am I degrading myself on these decisions? Am I putting myself in a weaker position by these decisions? Whether it be just getting into a relationship and spending a lot of money on a woman, or getting into a job where you're busting your balls trying to make as much money as possible, and you're willing to just bend over backwards and do whatever it takes to make money, even though it would involve losing, your own self-respect, your own dignity at work. You're willing to do anything. And there's a point in every man's life, and especially for MGTOW, we don't want to lose our self-respect. It's just that simple. We just don't want to lose our self-respect. We want dignity. And I think in order to be a true man, I think that's a huge thing to have, is self-respect, which also entails getting dignity within yourself, having self-respect for yourself, and being able to look at yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and say, I did this on my own terms. I did this not to simp. I did this because I felt like I had something of value to offer for an employer or for a woman or whatever it is, but I got something back, and I stayed away from the liabilities and pitfalls that were involved in being in those certain types of circumstances. And that's what it's all about, I think, is for men, MGTOW specifically, is that we have to get back to having our own self-respect. And I think that's a huge thing when we do become MGTOW, is that we're saying, hey, we have self-respect. We're not going to be beholden to anyone. And it's not because we hate women. It's not because we hate other men or white knights or the banks or government or employers or whatever. It's just that it starts with us, and we have to have self-respect for ourselves. We have to know what it is that gives us self-respect, gives us a feeling of like feeling good about ourselves, and avoiding doing what is degrading to ourselves. And that's huge, is being able to avoid those pitfalls of being degraded and build up that self-respect in me, or in all of us. So that's it for my video on this for part 2 of what is MGTOW. I hope you enjoy. Please leave a comment. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you like. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.